11 p.m., a text from a number I didn't save. Hey, still on for tomorrow? And my whole night changed. I stared at it a while before I typed a single word, trying to be polite and something else I hadn't heard. I wrote, I think you've got the wrong number, sorry, then added, but whoever's waiting must be lucky. 3 bats appeared, disappeared, appeared again. You wrote, now I'm more curious about you than them. I laughed alone in my kitchen, midnight calling on 2 strangers and a typo, and the whole night gone. Should've said goodnight and put the phone away. Should've let the typo end right where it lay. But I kept the conversation going just to see what happens when a wrong number finds the right in me. Wrong number, right time, right words. A text you meant for someone else was heard by someone who was sitting with the light turned low. Wrong number leading somewhere you didn't know. We talked till 3 a.m. like we've been years apart. Wrong number dialing straight into my heart. One misty digit rewriting the entire plan. Wrong number, right person. Here we are. Screening's glowing, something growing, digits wrong, but feelings known. Now by 1 a.m. I knew your favorite film and why you hate the cold. By 2 a.m. you told me things you said you'd never told a stranger, which made it easier, you said. Easier to say the real things in your head. I told you got the year, ideally giving up on good. You said, I'm glad that typo found you when it did. And something went away, you said it felt like more than chance. Like wrong numbers sometimes get the perfect circumstance. Morning came and still texts were going. Some invisible thing between us growing. You wrote this strange arrow, I know, insane times at night. And I said yes before the thought. Wrong number, right time, right words. The text you left for someone else was heard by someone who had almost gone to sleep. Wrong number finding what I didn't know to see. We talked for 7 nights before we met in person. Wrong number making every right thing certain. One misty digit rewriting the entire plan. Wrong number, right person. Here we are. You told me later you almost didn't text at all, almost canceled all of it and stayed home by the wall. I told you that I almost didn't answer the unknown, almost left the whole fate and the whole night alone. But some small nudge, some more than 3 transposed, some tiny gap where perfect timing flowed. I don't believe in accidents entirely anymore. Not since a wrong number opened up the right door. Your name in my phone is still saved as wrong number. You said, don't change it. It's the best thing I've ever been. 1 digit off, everything on typo sent, a whole life drawn. Wrong number, right feeling. Wrong number, right meaning. Keep it wrong. Stay exactly here. Wrong number, wrong meaning. Wrong On the anniversary, I text you from a new phone. Hey, still on for tomorrow, just to bring it home. Off at 2:10 on a Wednesday afternoon, and you were standing on the pavement in the most ridiculous shoes. Different company, different floor, same building, the same close street. A whole block standing around in coats, looking incomplete. You were from the 7th, I was from the 3rd. Neither of us had our jacket, which was frankly quite absurd. The warden handed high-vis vest to everyone in line. You put yours on like runway, and I thought that was a sign. We stood there for 11 minutes in the February air. Two strangers in high-vis bits, pretending not to scare. Building cleared, all clear, given back inside. There's something in 11 minutes wouldn't hide. We both slowed at the lobby door, just barely. Neither quite prepared to end it fairly. Fire drill, and suddenly there you are. Fire drill, pulling strangers into the same cold yard. 11 minutes on a pavement in the gray. Fire drill, making something out of Wednesday. High vis, less than February wind. Fire drill, where the story begins. I used to dread the alarm and all the stairs. Fire drill, put you there. All clear, sounding something. Founding pavement, meeting hearts completed. 3 weeks later, the alarm went off again at 4:30. Same cold pavement, same high-vis, same ridiculous encore. You found me in the crowd and said, of course, it's you again. I said, I'm starting to think the building's on our side. And then with some you laughed and we stood closer than the drill required. Two people running out of ways to see money, inspired by the fact that faded twice. Now used the fire alarm to put us in the same cold air. It's have a certain charm. Second all clear, second slow walking, second almost start the lobby thin. Excuse to linger, just a breath too long. Second drill, it made the feeling strong. Fire drill, and there you are again. Fire drill, better than it's ever been. 17 minutes this time in the cold. Fire drill, the best story ever told. High vis, best in your impossible come. Fire drill, becoming my good luck charm. Two alarms and two pavements and one thing clear. Fire drill keeps you here. Third time the alarm went off, I moved before the sound had died. Down 9 floors and through the lobby to be outside. You were already there, already smiling, already knew that I had run 9 flights of stairs to get to you. You said, okay, this is now officially a thing. I said, I've been hoping for a 4th alarm since spring. You laughed so loud the whole assembly point could hear, and said, ask me for a coffee, I've been waiting all year. We still work in the same building, different floors. Every drill we wear our vests and stand at the same doors. Warden knows us, saves our vests. Same assembly, all the rest. Alarm or not, we fight our spot. Same pavement, same cold air, same one. smile before it ends. The whole office knows our story. Everybody bends a little toward the window just to see us find each other. Nobody chooses a laundromat at 10:30 at night, unless something in their life has come undone just slightly. I'd run out of everything, a week of ignoring the pile, dragged it all in one enormous bag, down half a mile. You were already there, just watching your machine go round. The most meditative person I had ever found. I loaded mine and sat across and neither spoke a word for 20 minutes, which sounds strange but somehow felt preferred to anything performative or polished or prepared. Two people in a laundromat with nothing left to wear, tumbled drums and fluorescent low. Nowhere else it ought to go. Everything you own in one small drum. Just you and what you've come undone from. Spin cycle, crows going round. Spin cycle, best place I have found to be completely accidentally real. Spin cycle, showing everything you feel. No curated version in a laundromat at 10. Spin cycle, here we are again. Two people with their whole life in a drum. Spin cycle, where you come from. Drums are turning, something learning, clothes unwinding, two people finding. An hour in, you offered me the last of your detergent. I've forgotten mine entirely, which felt somehow urgent. To confess, you laughed and said, "Good tax on being scattered." Said I have my life together, just not in the matters of remembering long. You soap on difficult weeks. You said saying this week was one of those, and something speaks. And the way two people in a laundromat at night confess the small disasters without needing to be right. Machine on final spin, now nearly done. Neither one of us was rushing to be gone. Your dryer took another 40 minutes. Still I said I'll wait, and somehow that was real. Spin cycle, yourself look more together than you are. Just a bag of everything in one fluorescent star. Above the door, the flickers while the machines go round, and two strangers slowly making something out of found conversations and detergent and the long sack and dry, and me the one explaining why they chose tonight to try. He folded everything so carefully. I noticed that. Said, my mom taught me. I've never unlearned that. I spend on asking for somewhere warm and gentle, neither leaving white complete, folding slowly. Isn't that sweet? Spin cycle. Spin cycle. Same spot every morning, 7:42. 8 months before I learned the sound of you. Platform 3, the second bench from the end. Coffee in your left hand, same coat round every bend. Of weather, rain or winter, early dark or spring. I memorized your silhouette before I knew a thing about your name or where you went or what you carried in. That bag that always looked like it was bursting at the seam. We had a wordless ritual and not at 7:42. 8 months of good morning with no actual breakthrough. Train around carriages each time, same platform though. 8 months of almost speaking, almost starting. Same bench, same coat, same quiet departing. Platform 3, every single day. Platform 3, the slow and wordless way of knowing someone long before you know their name. Platform 3, our unremarkable frame for something that was quietly becoming more. Platform 3, what early mornings are for. 8 months of 742. Platform 3 was always leading needy. Train frozen, they unfolding, bench between us. Something holding. From one Thursday, everything was wrong with the whole line. Signal failure, our platform suspended, no sign of when the next train would come, and the whole crowd exhaled. Every commuter's wordless, worst case moaning unveiled. You timed it for the first time, said not today then. I laughed and said the universe is cancelled. 742 again, you said again, and I realized I had given myself away. 8 months of pain, far too much attention to your day. You smiled at me like you had been waiting for a slip, some small confession on the edge of my lip to confirm, or maybe you had also known that Platform 3 was never really just commuting home. Platform 3, signal failure day. Platform 3, finally something to say after 8 months of the night and a coffee and a coke. The morning finalists broke. We missed 3 trains that morning just to stay. Platform 3, the delay they paid. 8 months of 742. Platform 3 knew before we did too. Because the light hits it first and winter and it's warmer on the right. I said I always stand exactly where I stand because you were there the very first time, and I never moved because somehow that felt like the only spot that made the day feel like something more than what it otherwise would say. We both went quiet in a particular way that means neither person wants to leave the platform today. You were 20 minutes late to work, both of us, that Thursday. You said, worth it, and I kept that word for every hard day. Same bench, different day, something said, finally. 8 months quiet, one train late, one signal failed, one piece of fate. Platform 3, right on time. Platform 3, finally. held the lid for me without me asking you to. First thing I carried into this new life was you. And 17 boxes and a lamp that wouldn't fit. You were moving out as I was moving in, that was it. The hallway barely wide enough for both our lives at once. You'd apologize and flatten to the wall, and I confessed that I had no idea where my kitchen things had gone. You pointed to the box marked chaos I was carrying along. We laughed and then kept passing 2 whole hours in that hall. The whole building learning both our names against the wall. You were closing something, I was opening a door. 2 different chapters meeting on the same small floor. Your old life fitting into a van outside. My new one stacked in boxes, hit to find their place inside. Moving in while you were moving on. Something starting where another thing had gone. The hallway holding 2 entirely different days. Moving, crossing in the most unlikely ways. You were ending, I was starting, same front door. Moving in, that's what hallways are for. 2 lives bursting in the space between the old and new. Moving in was how I moved toward you. Doors wide open, something woken, old lights leaving, you unbreathing. By the 5th trip, you had offered me your kettle for the week. Said yours was already packed, but mine was somewhere I couldn't see. Through 17 boxes in a bag I hadn't opened yet, I made us tea in your kettle, which I still haven't given back. You sat on my windowsill while I tried to build a shelf with no instructions and too much confidence in myself. You didn't offer to help, you just watched and said, you're gonna need to start gut differently instead. Band came back to take the last walk was yours. You stood there in the empty room, both of ours going last moment, doorstep overlapping clear. You said, I hope you're happy here. Moving in while you were moving somewhere new. Something ending gave me something to look forward to. The whole building quiet now, just my boxes and your ghost. Moving in, I miss you most before I even found the room you left behind. Moving in is strange how the hearts can find the space between hello and let me go. Moving in is where the best things grow. You left a note beneath the kettle when you finally dove away. Just your number and in case the shelf collapses. By the way, I laughed alone in the empty flat, surrounded by my life in boxes and in pieces and in promise, no strife. Just the best beginning dressed as someone else's end, and a kettle and a number and the feeling that I'd been carried to this hallway by the long invisible thread of every ending that it led me here instead. You came back for the kettle 3 days later, I confessed. That the shelf had held, but I've been hoping you would come regardless. Kettle in again, same windowsill, your old room. I know Phil. Something left here, just me. A number and a reason to believe. Moving in was moving toward, moving in my own front door. Open is who you ask us how we met, we say he was moving out and I was on my way. Bending light through crystal glass, splitting colors as they pass. Prism. There's a triangular piece of grass refracting every ray. The white light separating into colors on display. Not even whole, we're splitting with each wavelength, finding space. A prism of potential, showing beauty face to face. When Isaac Newton demonstrated how the light divides, the optical phenomenon revealing what it has is geometric splitting, where the angles change the path. A stunning demonstration of refraction's aftermath, breaking into 7 hues, every shade with different views, splitting what was unified. Rainbow fight, we're a prism taking unity and breaking it apart. The refraction necessary, showing every colored heart, bending all the wavelengths into beauty we can see. Prism proving that division leads to harmony. Oh, 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 color split. Yeah, 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 perfect fit. Prism transmit, rainbow lit. Light is bending, colors bending, rays dividing, beauty riding. The diamond sparkling brightly with its facets catching sun. The rainbow after rainfall, showing stars and clear as one. The compact disc reflecting with its holographic shine. Prisms teaching us that separation can be fine. When photographers use filters, breaking scenes into the bars. Diplomatic understanding of how vision to these stars. This systematic bending where the physics meets the eye. A gorgeous transformation, proving truth can multiply. Breaking into 7 hues, every shade with different views, splitting what was unified. Rainbow fight, for a People fear the splitting, wanting everything as one. But I embrace the prism and the rainbows it has spun. A refraction so essential that without it we stay plain. The kind of chromatic breaking that reveals what colors reign. While others keep things simple in their monochromatic view, I'm celebrating prism, showing all the varied hue. No band-aid does this splitting, where each wavelength finds its voice. Prism becomes the reason that diversity's our choice. Most hearts prefer the white light, never seeing what's inside. But mine discover prisms where the rainbow colors hide. Refraction, dispersion, wavelength, spectrum, angle, chromatic, splitting, rainbow, prism, always splitting, never quitting what we're getting through the prism. We're transmitting. Prism. Someone left a notebook at the corner table by the door. 3 pages and I knew I'd never read anything more. Dark green cover, no name on it, just a coffee ring on page 1. Handwriting that leaned like it was always mid-run towards something it was chasing, but not quite catching yet. The kind of honest writing that you don't expect to get from something left by accident at table 4 on a Thursday. I read 3 pages, closed it, then I read 3 more anyway. A voice that felt like someone I had always almost known, and sentimental, funny, true, and somehow beautifully alone. I left my number with the owner on a napkin note. Said someone lost this, they'll come back, please quote. The person who returned it bet the words inside were the best 3 pages I had ever occupied. First draft, unfinished, left behind. First draft, most honest thing I'd find. 3 pages of someone thinking out loud at a corner table. First draft, truer than a resume or label. Nobody edits what they write when no one's looking. First draft, life's still cooking. I found your voice before I found your face. First draft, that's the only place to start. pages turning, something learning. We're dreamy when two hearts feeling. We came back on Saturday, I wasn't there to see it, but the owner said you read my note and didn't quite believe it. But someone had sat long enough to understand the pages and left a number instead of just a name through the ages. You text 3 days later, said I never had a reader. I said I've never been so glad someone left something either. We talked about the notebook for an hour on the phone, the strange grace of being found inside something you've been writing alone. First drafts are the truest thing we make before the editing, before the careful take, before we shape ourselves for someone else's read. First draft was exactly what I'd need. First draft, embodied left on table 4. First draft, I kept wanting more of the voice that thought out loud with no intention. First draft, love's best invention. Nobody performs inside a first draft page. First draft, I'm curating stage. I found your truths before you gave it willingly. First draft, that's how you found me. You said I'm mortified you read my actual thoughts. I said they were the realest thing this city's got. You said we weren't finished, weren't supposed to see the light. I said, nothing the most honest things, right, is ever meant for anyone. And yet that's why, baby, only things worth finding, that's why I left my number on a napkin for a stranger's half-done book, because the first draft was the realest place to look. He finished the notebook eventually, gave me the last copy, said, you're the reason I stopped editing out the messy. Dark green color, coffee ring, 3 pages in, everything. First draft found for the queen, for the version in between. Your real voice unguarded there. First draft, everywhere, finding me at table 4. First draft, nothing more. Now every morning you write and I make the coffee slow. 2 people in the first draft, neither one needs to outgrow. First draft, still writing. First draft, still every Sunday we were running toward each other, nodding past, nothing further. Same park loop, same Saturday, them different side of the path. You always looked like someone mid-thought. I always looked back after passing you, which I told no one, which became the reason I kept Sunday mornings exactly the same. 6 months of opposite directions, 6 months of almost a half-second of recognition, and back to the coast of whatever we were both running through that week. Neither brave enough to slow, to stop, to speak, running toward each each other every 7 days, close enough to catch the color of your gaze, far enough to keep the whole thing clean and safe. 6 months of movement covering space, opposite direction, same path, same time, something running parallel to everything of mine. Close enough on Sundays to become a kind of thread through the week, through the quiet, through what I left instead. I started running the Sundays for the not alone, that half-second confirmation I was not alone in noticing the loop, the light, the other person there, opposite direction, same air. Toward and past, same path, week after week, same half second, same something, almost beat. The one February morning, you were standing still, looking at your phone. I saw without deciding to until I'd stopped entirely. We'd startled both of us, I think. You looked up and the whole 6 months balanced on the brink of finally becoming something with a name. I said, I think we do this every Sunday, which was lame but true. You laughed and said, I know, I've been counting, which meant 6 months of Sundays had been amounting to this. Stopping to the February code, people in a phone and story that needed told. Neither of us stretched or checked the time, just stood there in the middle of the line. Opposite directions, finally the same, standing in the space between the nod and a name. You said you read the sloop because your mind went quiet here. I said the same, I saw how that made everything clear. Left the thing we both been running through, the way that set few weeks to park it held like a gate that only opened when we stood still long enough to find that we've been running toward each other all the time. We were in together for the first time that same morning, 2 people learning each other's pace without warning. You were faster than I thought. I pushed to keep the thread, neither speaking much, which somehow said everything. The easy silence of 2 people who have earned a little quiet trust across 6 months of turns. By the end of the loop, we'd agreed on next Sunday, and the one after that, and the one after anyway. We still run opposite directions sometimes, just to feel it. That half-second of approach before we meet and greet. Same loop, different years, same Sunday, no more fear, same heart, same 7 meal, opposite directions, never again. Now I run toward you on purpose every day, not just Sundays, not just here, not just this way. Opposite direction became yours. Opposite directions, no more. You said the name of that small town and everything went still. Maple Street is where I grew up. That's the road, the hill. We were at a dinner party, 12 of us, the noise, overlapping stories when I heard your voice. Dropped the name of somewhere I had buried under years of city life and reinvention for all your new frontiers. I said that's where I'm from and watched your face rewrite itself. You said no, that's impossible, and everything else. And that whole outing went quiet like a held breath. Two people from one road finding each other next. Different years, we never once overlapped in time. You left at 18, I was 9 when I arrived. A decade in between us on the very same small street, but Maple Street had kept us both from meeting. Maple Street, the oak tree at the end, the corner shop, the library round the bend, the bus stop with 3 walls, the fishmonger at dawn, the chestnut shells we collected every autumn. I described your grandmother's front garden before you did. The red tin with the dented lid, 2 children in one town who never shared a day, finding each other 30 years away. Same road, different clocks, same street, same box for chestnuts, same cold bus, same small town. Made us. Again, the party ended and we stayed until the last. 2 people excavating everything they passed through on the way to here. Same junction, same gray sky, same opto, the light that only locals recognize. You showed me one old photo of the street with pavement bare, the chestnut at the corner still miraculously there. I said I drove past just to check it still existed once. You said me 2 or 3 years ago on a January lunch. We've both gone back along the Griever Road without knowing someone else was carrying the same load, or believing somewhere small that shaped the whole of you. Maple Street had always been for 2. Maple Street was waiting in a dinner table main. 30 years of city couldn't swallow what we came from. The particular quality of ordinary air that only someone from that town could share. We walked home separately that night through streets that didn't know the size of what it opened in the conversations. Go through strangers from the same small road, the same October made. Maple Street arriving like a decade unpaid. Following spring we went back, both of us together. Stood outside number 42 in changeable weather. The oak was there despite the photo, despite the grief. We both made out of thinking it was gone beyond belief. You said it grew back quietly, just back. I didn't make it more than what it was in you. We both stood longer than the moment asked us to. Maple Street still holding what it always knew. People asked how we met. When you say dinner party, someone's name. But really we met 30 years ago on the same lane, same road. From here, Maple Street, every so genuinely kind that I liked you more for canceling than I would have at the time. We'd arranged a Tuesday somewhere new, the usual nerves, all the preparation that a first date probably deserves. Then your message came at noon, something had come up. You were sorry, truly sorry, could we push it to next week? The apology was longer than the original plan. Funny you too, which told me more than a restaurant can about a person in a first impression, dressed in bright. I sat home in my ordinary Tuesday night and felt strangely glad that we could get you where you were. Glad the plans had been before they could emerge into something polished, edited, erased. Something about the cancel felt unchanged. Rain check, and you meant it every word. Rain check, the most honest thing I'd heard. All the care you put into the sorry told me this was someone who considered what they'd miss. Not the date itself, but me specifically, the Tuesday. Rain check, written like an essay on a Monday. I've been dreaded first dates for the longest time. Rain check felt like finding something more. Plans dissolving, something solving itself quietly without hurry. We rescheduled to Thursday, somehow neither of us chose. Just walked until we found a place the way to comfort goes. Before the self-consciousness, before the care for better menus as a way to fill the gaps we didn't need to fill. Because the canceled Tuesday had already done the work of two people becoming comfortable as one. We texted through the week in a way you don't when plans are solid. Something about the rescheduling made everything less polished and more itself, more real. List the form and it's right. The week between the plans made everything understay in the best way, neither on their best behavior. Just two people grateful for the rainy day. Reschedule favor. Rain check, gave a set a maze of something unplanned. Rain check, texted midnight, the upper hand of knowing someone's humor before the candles and the wine. Rain check, drew a much more honest line through the budget of ourselves we save for strangers. Rain check, navigating all the dangers of a first date being just a first impression. Rain check was a much better lesson. You said on Thursday I was mortified I canceled. I said don't be, it was the best thing that could happen. You looked at me like I was being kind to spare you. I said no, genuinely the apology prepared you. For me and me for you better than the original planned. Because I saw how you handled disappointing someone. How with carelessness or silence, but with genuine regret. That's a harder thing to fake than any first date etiquette. We joke now that we owe the canceled Tuesday everything. That whatever came up that afternoon was the real beginning. I don't care. Rain check. The bartender called last orders at 1:45. And somehow neither of us was even close to done. We'd arrived at separate tables, separate Friday nights, both nursing separate somethings in the low bar lights. The place had thinned to almost nothing, chairs up everywhere. Just you and I and Marco wiping down with care. He glanced between us twice already with that knowing look that bartenders develop like it's written in their book. Of everyone away, we sat too long past closing time, looking for a reason in the bottom of a glass of wine. Last call echoing across the empty room. Two strangers and a bartender, and too much space to move. Neither reaching for a coke quite yet. Something in the amber light we couldn't quite forget. Last call, last round, last chance tonight. The night I've been looking for the door, but found the bar instead. Last call, something Marco said. Two glasses down between our tables with a wink. Said on the house, last one standing, deserve a drink. We look at each other, then at Mark holding back again. He pulled two bar stools to the counter and said, sit then. 40 years of closing time had made him very sure of we two lingering strangers were really staying for. He told us both the God is wise, how they met right here. 1980 something, last call of the year. He left us talking, started stacking chairs with tact. Gave us the whole bar and never once looked back. Just calm something quietly behind the glass while we talked like neither wanted it to pass. Last call, it came the longest night in years. Last call, dissolved in all the careful veneers. Two people and a bartender who knew before we did. Last call, that's what Margot had inside a free drink. And I know and look, last call, that's all it took. I've been looking for the end, I found the beginning instead. Last call, and everything Marco said. Something sacred about the last hour of a bar. And the crowd is gone and all that's left is who we really are. No performance for the room, no table full of noise. Just the truest version of yourself in someone else's voice. Telling you the things they'd never say at full capacity. And everyone is watching and the room has no vacancy. For honesty, for quiet, for the accidental grace. But finding someone real in the most unlikely place. Margot locked the door at 2 and made us both a coffee. Said, I'm not throwing out the last good conversation, honestly. One lamp on, said Marco's coffee still ahead. Last call taken, something broken. Marco crying, still here unbroken. Last call, lit somewhere. Last call, you were there. Last call, every Friday now, same bar, same stools. Last call, Marco's unofficial rules. Keep the good ones talking for the final round. Last call is where the real ones are found. Two tables into one, into a life. Last call, cut sharper than a knife through everything that wasn't working, everything that was. Last call, Marco and the pause. Marco and the pause. Marco and the pause. Marco danced at our wedding, gave a speech that made us cry. Said I knew at last call, didn't even have to try.